All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome. It is submission day, and I'm
Oh,
entirely too excited.
it's a Tuesday. We've got to celebrate. And also, I am so highly caffeinated today, Catherine. It's not even funny. I think we're on 3 shots of espresso, and it is only 10 a.m. here. Bring it on,
It's a
characters.
good day.
It
It's a
is
good
good.
day. And we did want to say thanks starting out to everybody who messaged us to just let us know the breakthroughs you've had during the challenge. Someone was like, I didn't expect it to be this hard, but now your book has a whole different and much deeper character because of it. And that is so exciting. That's why we did this challenge. And that's why we wanted to give you guys a little bit of a break from writing prose to focus on something that can make it all that much better. I know you've seen some other comments as well, Becca.
Yeah, I've had my favorite comment, and I won't throw your name out there. You can claim it in the comments if you want to. But my favorite comment was, Becca, I hate how much I love this. And I think that that sums up a lot of these kinds of exercises, right? You get into it and you're like, what do you mean I have to fill out this form? What do you mean there's all of these questions I've never thought about for my character? But at the end, you're like, wow, look at this whole person that I just created. And I have backstory. Someone else told me that the backstory from this character that they developed through this challenge is actually going to feed into their lead magnet for their series, because they realized how rich that backstory actually is and how it plays in with the rest of their books. So this has been super exciting for a lot. And I've just appreciated these feedbacks. I appreciate the angst every now and then when you're like, why did you make us do this? I made you do that because of these results, right? We had this challenge put together so that it makes you think about your character in a different way. And if you never look at this worksheet again, so be it. It did, though, it stretched a part of your character planning that you may not have done otherwise.
Exactly. This was difficult for pantsers, but you survived. Ready to learn how to submit. This was difficult for you. Almost finished. A few more questions.
Someone named a character after me. Oh my goodness. Thank
Oh,
you. Are they over caffeinated and slightly random? Because that is the personality traits over here.
oh, that's awesome. Oh, thanks, Gumbo. That
Yay, I'm famous. Um,
you love the character you wrote. Now you're doing them for your villains. So we know that there's even more. We're going to have some time to gush about all this stuff next week when we come back for the finale, but we don't want to make everybody wait too terribly long. So we're going to go through the instructions first. Then we're going to do the FAQs that we've been getting. And then if you want to gush some more, you are welcome to gush some more about your characters who you are now in love with, right? So let's get started. Submissions are officially open right now, the
yep.
second, today. They are going to be open until 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time on Friday, April 25th. Yes, that is going to be Eastern Time for the closure. Regardless of where you are in the world, it will not adjust to 11:59 for you. But you also get to work overnights when we're sleeping too. So if you're rushing in a worksheet at the last minute, everybody has the same amount of time between now and 11:59 p.m. Eastern on Friday. Becca, you have any thoughts or tips for people who are going to throw in their hat in the ring right here at the 11th hour?
Just make sure you fill out the worksheet. You know what? If you're super into it, I know we had some folks that are used to creating character profiles because they play role playing tabletop games and things like D&D and things like that, where this isn't an arduous exercise. This is part of building a character for you. Then you might be able to do this faster. Just make sure you answer all of the questions, because I would hate for you to have to put all that work in, but then you skip some and it doesn't get qualified for the finals. So that is my main thing. Think about it. You really are not needing, you can write a bunch if you want to, but I'm not looking for like a whole book of information about these folks, about answering these questions. 1 to 2 sentences or even bullet points, if they are coherent and make sense, are completely fine. If you have more, great. If it's, again, if you turn in a 70-page document, I'm probably not going to read all of it. but I appreciate the effort that you put into it.
And Eric, I see your question. We're going to get to that a little later when we head into the FAQs. So we're going to go through submissions first, though, and then we'll tackle the judging criteria we're sort of going to be looking for. Winners are going to be announced next week here on YouTube at 1 p.m. Eastern. The video for the finale is already up on the channel, so there is nothing keeping you from going over there, giving it a like, hitting the little notification bell, and that way you can come back and be on top of everything then. All right. So what you are submitting is 2 pieces. First, a character worksheet. We're going to walk you through exactly how to do this in just a second, as well as a 1-paragraph archetype summary of your character in the fiction story builder inside of your AutoCrit Writer's Desk. This is normally a locked pro member perk. We unlocked it for challenge participants. You have to have registered for the challenge, though, in order to get access to this if you are not a pro member perk. So if you did not do that, please reach out to our support team via the help bubble in the bottom right corner, and we will get you added to the list so that you have access. We're going to talk a little bit about both of those things here in just a second. So we're going to show now where you're going to submit. All of your submissions have to be in the AutoCrit Writer's Desk. This is the only place we will accept them. We will not accept emails. This is supposed to be a blind judging, and it cannot be a blind judging if I know who sent it in an email. It has to be sent in the AutoCrit Writer's Desk, because if it's not, we won't see your builder, and that will disqualify your entry. So please don't try to send it back via Google Docs. If you made a Google Docs copy of the worksheet, you have to export it as a docx and upload it into AutoCrit and submit through there. Don't email it to us. Don't Facebook message it to us. Don't PM it to us. Our book buddy peeps on text message. Please don't text it to us. We have these instructions up so that it can be easy to do. We're going to show you how easy it can be to do right now. So I'm going to share my screen here, and I'm going to make it bigger so everybody can see a little better. On the left-hand toolbar, you'll see a Writer's Desk button. Please click on that. If you have already uploaded your character worksheet, then it should be in recent files or maybe further down in your projects. You can find it by typing in whatever you have titled it, like character building sheet. If you have not uploaded it yet, go to the Upload File button and then use that character building worksheet that we emailed out. Hold on, I'm going to grab mine and drop it in here. There we go. So I'm going to, well, I might, as long as it shows, I'm going to drag and drop this file right here into my AutoCrit. You do not need to make any changes to it on your computer. So if you don't have Microsoft Word on your computer, it's okay. You don't have to open it. Just save a version as docx from Google and then upload it directly into here. This is where you are then going to fill out the answers if you have not started doing so already. So if I'm doing my villain, I'm going to put her name here. I'm going to put her age, birthday unknown. Now, yours should not say unknown. You should have a specific birthday. So maybe I say it's Celeste first full moon day or something like that. Go ahead and fill out all the answers. Every single question does have to be answered. We're going to talk about that in the FAQs. You'll make sure that the version that you have pulled up on your screen right now is 100% filled out. Every single spot. Then go to your planning tab and click Fiction Story Builder. Yes, I can zoom in. Sorry, everybody. There we go. Then go to your planning tab on the top toolbar and click Fiction Story Builder, which is currently unlocked for you. Go to New Fiction Story Builder Idea and click on this little character building box. This will take you down to the characters section. Within here, you'll see all the common archetypes for characters in fiction stories. Mine is the antagonist. So I would put a 1-paragraph summary here. This should be the nutshell version of who she is. Maedra is the queen of the Moonwalkers. She wants to reclaim the throne her older sister wrongfully stole from her. She fears being forever an outcast and longs for acceptance from more people than just her love interest. This leads her to send the entire kingdom into war, risking the lives of the subjects she's trying to gain favor from. A one-sentence summary, just an overview. Everything else can be broken down in detail over to the side, but notice that I put into here who they are, what their role is, what their goal is, what is at stake for them, what their wants and needs are in a very short, succinct way. So that is what you're doing. Tell us the who, what, why, what they're fearing, what they need in a little simple nutshell. Once you have put this into the builder, you can close your builder out. I'm going to zoom back down now so that I can actually see. You should have a builder with one archetype filled in for whichever role they have. You should have a completely filled out character worksheet here. If you want to title it something like your character name, your character sheet, the title should go in the title box that's in the top left corner. And when you're completely ready to submit, knowing that you cannot make any changes after the submission is made, go to the Save button, go to Submissions, and check mark this box. This will give you a pop-up, as long as you don't have pop-up blockers turned on, that says your submission has been received with this little beautiful rainbow road bar underneath. If you don't get it because you forgot to turn off pop-ups or it was too fast, you can double check by going back to that Save button, going to the Submissions button, and you'll see that this is now grayed out. I can't check mark this box. Only one character can be submitted per person. Once you submit someone, you can't submit anybody else. So pick your best person. So here it is. I've got it check marked. That means I submitted. You will not receive an email of submission confirmation. So that is how you're going to go to check that your story was submitted. And at that point, you don't have to touch this anymore. This has now been sent over to our judging team, and they will be able to review your submission. So let me bring Becca back up here on the screen for a minute. But again, it is 100% free to sign up for the challenge to unlock the builder for this. As long as you register through the challenge, you do not have to pay for a pro membership. If you want a pro membership for any of the other perks, by all means, we would love to have you. But you're retaining full rights to all the characters you submit through here. And nobody is reading these except for our judging team. So these are not going to be posted live. We don't want anybody poaching ideas. We've got some FAQs here, Becca, and I'm going to let you speak to some of them. I can speak to a couple of them. Worksheet FAQs. Do we have to use the character worksheet? In short, yes.
Next question.
Next question.
Yes, you do have to answer all of them. I don't care what order they're in. We will know if you delete them, if you delete ones that you don't want to do. So reorder it if it works better for your brain. If that's fine. Just make sure that all the questions are answered. And if you filled out, I see in the chat, if I filled out all of the fiction story builder, is that going to disqualify me? No. You can definitely fill out all of the story builder if you really want to. The minimum requirement is that you have one of the character archetypes done, please.
Yeah, the rest is extra. And same thing, we're looking for 1 to 2 sentence answers, but if you want to go longer, you can. We do ask that your 1 sentence or 2 sentence summary answers be first. Let that be the nutshell version for us at the top, and then expand on it for yourself, especially if you are some of the people we've seen that said they've already started writing scenes for these things. Your narrative is great. We're not expecting narrative from you. but please put those 1 to 2 sentence answers from your voice before you dive into a scene that reflects it. All right. Some things we won't be accepting as valid answers at any point on your sheet.
So we did have, if we had a question last week, like what happens if my protagonist is a teenager and doesn't have some of these life experiences yet? Then what you would write is not applicable due to age, or not applicable due to a reason that is clearly defined. You can't just say not applicable, because I won't know why it's not applicable, and then I'm going to mark that as it didn't get answered. The see above apps is no. You do, even if some of them are repetitive, they are different questions, and they are asking you to look at it in a different way. There's also, let's see, can we write our answers from the character's perspective? That's fine with me, as long as the questions get answered. All right.
So yeah, please don't do one ginormously long answer and then go see above and make us go fishing through your answer. That's not going to cut. So what you can do though is, I answered a question and I actually ended up going way overboard and I ended up answering 5 questions. Copy that answer out, paste it into the question it's related to, and move that one up underneath it, and then delete it from the long answer. Yep. Start tightening up your answers a little bit.
And when Catherine says summary, the summary is the answer to the question. So if you decide, you were like, wow, this has been fantastic, I have a whole backstory planned out, and you wrote all that out, great. I want the answer to the question. If you could please have that in the first paragraph, that would be great. Because that means that I'm not hunting through it to find the answer to the question.
And please don't put multiple characters on the version you submit to us. We love that you're going to put multiple characters in with it, but if we don't know which character we're supposed to be following development of, it's going to make it very difficult for us to judge. So we ask that you please limit your submitted file to 1 character per worksheet. I might make an example if it's like the first Harry Potter book when Voldemort was in the back of somebody's head. Okay, maybe I'll let that go.
Yes, the story builder is mandatory to use that character archetype. You only have to do 1 field, but using that is mandatory. Yeah. In addition to above, and then have some kind of added piece, but the answer is a bit short. As long as the added piece answers the question, then yes, that's fine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Prose is not expected or required, as we've already said. Please remember to include your summarized answers above them in the very first 1 or 2 sentences. With thousands of participants in these challenges, we can't read everybody's multiple page proses. All right. About the story builder, you do have to go into the story builder. This is going to be underneath the planning tab. This replay will go up immediately after this call. So you can go back, go to that section and watch those instructions again. But it just needs to be a very short 1 paragraph summary of how basically they fit that archetype. If you're not comfortable with archetypes and that's new, there's a little information button and it's got this little bubble. You hover over it and it tells you what role that would be. Find the one that best fits your character and put their summary there. Then we're looking for name and what they want, what their goal is, what their fears are. Just 1 big overview of the core issues that they are facing as a character in the point of the book. So if you are not sure if what you have counts, there is a little help bubble in the bottom right corner of AutoCrit, and you can click that bubble and go, is this a good summary? And then we will reply to you and tell you this needs a little more. You can cut a little out, something like that. Yes, this is being recorded, Susan, and it will go up live immediately after we end the instructions today.
Brian asks, it asks for relationships and other notes in the other notes section. So yes, you can add a few characters relative to your character. That is exactly where we want other characters. You don't need to have necessarily huge details out. The example I gave is, let's say you had an aunt who plays a large role or a minor role or some kind of role in your character's plot, and you put down there that Auntie Becca is part of your story, and relationship to that character is they are the maternal aunt and or godmother or whatever it is you want to put there, and that is, you know, any of those little details there, and that is sufficient. It does not need to be a fully fleshed out thing.
All right, so there will be those two separate sections. Again, go back and watch the replay if you missed it. Section 1 is the main body of the document. That is where your worksheet goes. That is where your answers go. Section 2 is in the planning tab in the fiction builder. Go to characters, find the archetype, and write a paragraph there. We don't want to disqualify anybody. We love all the hard work you've done in this challenge. So please don't make it easy for us to disqualify anybody. Make sure that you have something in your fiction builder. And if you can't find it because you're new, then welcome to AutoCrit. Again, click that bubble in the help side on the bottom right corner of the site. We will help get you to the fiction builder so that you can put your information in there. Tim, the requirement is at least 1 to 2 sentences to answer each question, but as long as that's in there, if you want to go further, you can.
Yep. That's a really long document if there's 1 to 2 pages on each of those questions.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, that's a long document. But I appreciate the depth and effort.
Let's see here. So any other questions that we missed? The scroll has been going pretty heavily, so if we've missed your question, feel free to drop it again for us. But judging criteria. So Becca, what kind of things are you going to be looking for on submissions for our judging?
So one of the things I like to look for is have you thought out how your different backstory elements actually play with your character arc? So, you know, each of these things, when we're thinking about creating a fictional person, the things that they've experienced and what you've put into that, it really does impact how their actions in the future are made. So I really would like to look at those. Let me pull up my worksheet real fast. Hold on just a second. Got too many tabs open and I lost it on one of my tabs. Catherine, I know you know how that goes.
Yeah. Someone asked too if it could be someone who wasn't the protagonist or antagonist, and absolutely. As long as they're fully fleshed out, they can be a side character, emotion character, relation character, love interest. The world's your oyster.
Okay, let me get this going. Why is it doing this? Yeah, what about you, Catherine? What kind of things are you looking for?
So I am a stickler for rules. So I will be the person first and foremost making sure that everybody put in a story builder and that the template you used didn't get any questions deleted or unanswered. But that stuff aside, for judging, I am looking for characters who have a lot of depth to the answer. And by depth, don't confuse that with length. Those are two different things. If I see something really profound, that means you've thought about this a whole lot, even if that's just 1 or 2 sentences, that is going to stand out to me. I want things that make these people actual people, real needs, real wants, real fears, real flaws. And that was one FAQ I didn't include because we talked about it last week. You can go watch the replay. We do not consider flaws, Becca and I, to be things that are part of your identity. So if you're born with a chronic illness, you have neurodiversity, something like that, we don't consider that a flaw, and it might be a little off-putting to see those listed in flaws. We're thinking of other things that go in that flaw category. So I'm looking for things that make people really human, but are also honest and open, and that let me know you've put a lot of thought into what this person could be.
Yep. You know, see, where is this? I finally got my thing up here. I really like it if you can make me do a double take. I love those like quirks. The character that does something I haven't seen before. I love looking for that. So there will be, I think we should make a category for each of our judging staff of, we should have an award category of made us do a double take if there is more than one submission that does that, just as a fun category. And yes, the character archetype summary, Juliet, is in the story builder. That is where you pick, you go into story builder and you type in a paragraph underneath the category for your character, and then you exit out of that. It saves. You don't have to do anything else. It's already, once you exit out of the story builder, it's already saved as part of your document package that gets submitted. You do not have to do anything else.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have to be actual people, Susan. Obviously they're fiction, but I want you to, these are still characters that are supposed to be immersive and have their own version of personality within a story. So making sure that you have, I know I have several people tell me that they're doing shifters and things like that as their character, and so they have a the dual personality of their animal mind and their human mind and all of that good stuff. We know they're not real, but we want them to feel like it's fully fleshed out.
Yeah. Steph, I can't find the question you're referencing if you want to put it for us. And I think we've already talked about how it doesn't have to be a protagonist. It can be anybody. So if that's the one you're referring to, we've already mentioned that one. It can be any of these archetypes. There's a lot of them. It can be the protagonist, the antagonist, just a relation character, a support character, distraction character, as long as they are fully fleshed out. They do not have to be human. We had a sci-fi club about non-human main characters, which was a whole lot of fun, and C-3PO and R2-D2 made an appearance. These do have to be original characters that you have come up with yourself, but even if it's somebody like C-3PO, there's a lot you could flesh out in this using C-3PO. He has wants and fears and goals and stuff too.
Yeah, that was a question I got this week, is can I do a character from Jane Austen's world? And the answer to that is no. If you put Mr. Darcy in as your character, you're building out Mr. Darcy. No. It needs to be an original character,
please. All of these questions should be applicable even if your main character is the protagonist. A protagonist does not mean a perfect character. They should have flaws. There should be negative things about them. If there's not, they are not going to be very realistic. Now, sometimes people have superhero characters. I mean, you look at Superman and he's just perfect, right? But for the sake of this challenge, we're trying to help you completely flesh out and go much deeper than good just for good's sake. So what is your protagonist not great at? What is their bad point? What do they have to grow through, right? So I do see that question of there being some questions on here that read as if they wouldn't be the protagonist. So feel free to drop those for us, or you can message us or email support@AutoCrit.com. Okay, so what is the relationship of this character to the main character, if not the protagonist? So that one we would just say they're the protagonist, because it says in parentheses, if not the protagonist. So you can go, they're the protagonist, and off you go.
Okay, the dynamics question we did answer last week at length, but I can go over it one more time. It is, in fact, these are the side characters. So you have who are the key relationships that shape their story? Who are these characters that are going along with them? You don't have to have them fleshed out. Obviously, I won't know if they're fleshed out or not, because this is just a quick answer to a question. Perhaps it is Auntie Becca, who is their guide through this. So you're going to put Auntie Becca as the name of the character. You're going to put the dynamic is they are a maternal aunt and slash, mentor or something. And that would show the dynamic. If it is a romance and they have something spicy going on, perhaps it is the ex. Perhaps there is power exchange going on. I don't know. It's your story. Whatever it is, you're going to put the name of the character. That's all I need is the name. And you're going to put the dynamic or the type of relationship they have with your character. Maybe it's Becca, the executive assistant to your villain. Becca, I would love that job actually to be the I know that there's a series about that that has the villain's assistant, but I love everything about that. Something like that.
Mm-hmm. Now, I can't show the pop-up again. As I said, you can only submit one time, and I submitted my one time to show you guys. So you will have to watch the replay to get that. But we go through those step-by-step instructions a little earlier in this video. So once we get off the live, you can come back here, rewatch, and it will show you the pop-up. It will show you how to upload your file and all of that. But it's a good note. If you submit something, there's no do-overs. So make sure that you don't submit until you have double and triple checked and you are happy. And that replay is also going to be where you will see what should be going in this archetype section as far as the summary paragraph too. What is the relationship of this character to the main character, if not the protagonist? So you would say mine is the protagonist, and there's your one sentence answer. We're only asking for 1 to 2 sentence answers, so you're good. You still qualify there. All right, everybody. So we'll try to make this as simple as possible one last time now that I got my AutoCrit up. We don't mean to be confusing, so here we go. You have a character worksheet that you received from us.
Yep.
If you didn't see it, click this help bubble in the bottom right corner of AutoCrit. Our team will get a DocX version for you to upload. Fill out everything here. When that's completely done, go to the Fiction Story Builder, find the role that your character plays in the story, and write a 1-sentence paragraph about them. That is all we are asking for on the simplest level. So upload the worksheet, fill out the worksheet, and give us a 1-sentence summary in the builder.
A 1-paragraph summary, not one.
Sorry, 1 paragraph summary. Thanks, Becca. All right, the deadline again is this Friday at 11:59 p.m. Eastern, and we will be announcing winners next Tuesday.
Can you share again, Catherine?
Yeah.
Go right up. Do you see? Okay, one more time. You see the little save button? You're going to go down to submissions. You're going to click the box. If it's grayed out, it means you've already submitted. You can only submit once. Yep. So you're going to click the box when you're all ready. You don't have to do anything else to your story builder. It will automatically go. So just click the box, and then you are good to go. We will receive that, and yeah, we're excited to see all of these wonderful characters.
Your builder should be in the same file with your builder should be in the same file with the character worksheet. So there's not a need to send 2 files. There's not a need to email us anything or anything like that. We want to make this as simple as possible. Yep. All right, everybody. Best of luck. We are excited. If you're interested in the prizes, you can go watch last week's replay. It's up on the YouTube channel. We talk about them there. We will be coming on to AutoCrit at 2 p.m. Eastern today to go through office hours. So if you have questions about using AutoCrit, that would be a good place to come, especially if you're trying builders and things for the first time, because then we can go a little slower and walk you through step by step how to use builders and all of that. The builders will lock down after the submissions. And that is important because it is a pro member perk. So if you really like what you have built out and you want to keep those builders active much longer than this challenge, then you will want to go ahead and upgrade to AutoCrit Pro once the challenge is over. There is a 50% off first month promotion running right now that I will drop here in the chat for you guys. Again, you don't have to do this before the challenge is over. We're not going to make anybody pay to submit to the challenge. But here is the link to this if you've gotten started and you don't want to lose those notes and stuff once the challenge ends. All right, everybody. Thanks so much. Good luck. We'll see you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.